Greetings, schools, and welcome back to another deep dive into horror television. Tonight, I have an extraordinary episode of Monsters for ya. This episode gets a bit ugly, but I swear this one is a worthy spectacle, and many fans of the series think this one is the best episode of all, and I can't disagree. We open to a glass door that slowly swings open to a hot room, or an indoor greenhouse. What a fabulous addition to a plant lover's home. Inside the hot room, there's an older lady caring for her plants. She's referred to as Mother throughout the story, and her daughter's name is Sheila, who is in town on an impromptu visit. Her daughter's abusive husband walks into the sweaty room. His name is Nelson, and Mom notices the bruise on Sheila's cheek. This guy is bad news, and that isn't lost on Mother. The kids beg to go inside since it's so warm and humid in the room that they're already sweating. Mother and the plants like it that way, and to be fair, so do I, Ma. Bring on the heat. So Mom blends up her special melon juice drink in the blender and gulps a big sip before pushing herself into the dining room. We learn why the kids are actually there. The bastard husband tells Ma that they're $8,000 in the red, but $5,000 will take care of them for now. Ma has a quick answer for him, and that's no. The drinking, the gambling, and the womanizing on her dime is over, she says, and she will not give them another cent. And not because she doesn't love her daughter, but because she will not continue to support the horrible husband and his antics.
But if you don't help us, we'll have to move out of the condo. We'll have to get a cheap apartment in some bad neighborhood somewhere. Michelle's gonna have to walk down unsafe streets every night.
There's nothing more unsafe than her addiction to you. Mother. Hush, child.
Mom is smart and set in her ways. She has drawn her line here, and she means business. Nelson threatens the safety of her daughter. He's going to rough her up to get money out of Ma. What a charming man, huh, ladies? Can I get you his number? He's a real catch. Mom puts her foot down and still tells them no, but she always assumed it would reach this point. That's when things escalate to a scary level. Nelson gets in Mom's face. When Sheila gets up to stop him, she catches a smack.
Don't you ever strike my daughter!
The wheelchair-bound woman just got up and choked the shit out of the goon. Mom thanks her melon juice. You see, her special melon juice contains enzymes that super energize human muscle tissue. Her melon juice will charge up anyone. Her daughter runs to the hothouse to get another glass of juice for Mother. Nelson threatens to take her juice and drink it himself. Mom tells him that's risky. He could overdose. Then the husband gets another idea. He wants to take the product and manufacture the miracle melon juice far and wide and make $1 gazillion off of it. The woman thinks he's disgusting, and to be quite honest, so do I. The money isn't important to Mom. She only cares about the well-being of her daughter. Sheila walks back in with the juice and Ma chugs it down. She gets up from her wheelchair and walks into the hothouse. So when it's time for Nelson to manipulate his wife, he tells her he didn't mean to beat her in the face repeatedly. He's a snake, that boy. They go to check up on Mom, and they see her talking to her plants. What's the matter with talking to your plants? I do this all the time. Nelson tells Sheila that Ma has lost her marbles. He suspects that Ma's too old to be making important decisions. The wise guy tells Sheila that they have to steal a few melons to then cultivate the magical melons themselves. They can start their own business. Sheila thinks that would be a bad idea and suggests maybe let's not do that. Sheila has morals, it seems, but what she lacks is the backbone, because once he lays a fat smooch on her, she melts and agrees to whatever poor decisions he makes for them. So later that night, Nelson is in the hothouse. He's looking to dig up the melons and take some with him. That's when he gets attacked by a huge worm creature. Needless to say, no one expects this. And what would you all do if attacked by giant worms? The next day, the couple wake up and they sit at the breakfast table. where only Sheila gets a plate of yummy breakfast. The bastard husband gets to go make it himself if he's hungry. Nelson gets his wife to go ask Mom about the horrible bugs that attacked them last night. Ask about the worms, and then if things go right, they can finally get that beautiful house out in the countryside that she always wanted. And not just that, but also children. Wouldn't Ma love to be a grandma? Yes, she would. So this dirty jerk is filling her ear with lip service, and the poor thing eats up more BS than her tasty breakfast. So Sheila goes to talk to her mom in the hot room. I really love the old botany lady, having fun watering her plants. We learn that when Sheila was born, her mother and father were already tenured professors at a university, where she studied botany and he studied insects. They were set in their ways and already middle-aged when they had Sheila, so admittedly Ma was a bit negligent when raising her daughter. Mom wants to make amends for that now. She shows Sheila the special worms in her garden. They are very rare, giant bloodworms from the Amazon rainforest that her late husband shipped in a crate back to the house. The crate they were shipped in broke in the hothouse, and ever since the worms happily inhabit the space. Soon after that, the melons produced the fabulous enzymes. The worms radically changed the composition of the soil, which means that the worms can create miraculous fruits of all kinds. All you need is the fancy giant bloodworms. Mother has been waiting a long time to show her the gift of the miracle bloodworms, as she didn't want a man like Nelson to find out her great secrets. That's a shame though, since we spot Nelson eavesdropping from the doorway. That night, Nelson is strong-arming his wife in the hothouse. He tells her to dig, get the nasty worms and put them in the suitcase. Proves to be a very challenging task though. The magical worms keep biting him. So he takes the last sip of Ma's melon juice. That makes him stronger than he's ever been. He uses his new strength to capture a pair of worms. He pops them in a suitcase and he's ready to go. That is until his mother-in-law enters. Nelson tells the two women that he can finally leave this dump now that he's got what he needs. Ma tells him that she knew all along that her daughter would tell him the secret. She knew all along, but it was a part of her grand plan. Mom comforts her daughter by telling her there's no shame in it, dear. She's powerless against her monster husband, Nelson. He tells his wife, sorry, love, but he doesn't need her anymore, now that he's got a breeding pair of these worms.
You bastard. You used me. Say that you love me. Lying through your teeth. You're not stealing worms, you idiot. You're taking her children.
Her children?
Don't ever mess with the mother instinct.
Yeah, she got him in a big win for Ma. We love to see it. This one was a great comeuppance. That Nelson was a really horrible man to his wife. The broken-hearted Sheila and her mother have a lot to talk about and grieve through. So what did you think of this one? I think it's the best of the best, and I'm gonna have to give it a monsters 10 out of 10. I will happily rewatch this one whenever I'm getting the monsters itch. If there's anything I would love to study in the future for fun, it would be botany or some type of plant sciences or horticulture program. So this one hit me especially hard. I freaking loved it. I think the mother character was beyond cool. Not only just for her plant wisdom, but for using her wits to outsmart the jerk and protect her daughter. Her daughter desperately needed help, and there's no shame in that at all. As far as criticism, the story was perfect, the location perfect, that hothouse amazing, a moving in Ma. Also, the casting was spot on, and I couldn't change a thing about this episode. I think it stands out as top tier in comparison with the rest of the series. But at the same time, there's no denying this one might not be the most frightening ever, unless you got a real big fear for worms. In real life, worms are certainly beneficial for living soil and organic gardens. They aerate the growing medium, which helps roots uptake the oxygen they need, as well as leaving castings behind, which are a wonderful source of plant nutrients. Worm castings are known to have a ton of stuff plants like, such as the main 3 plant nutrients NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, as well as micronutrients such as iron, sulfur, and calcium. The plants need much less of those. Alright. I love it though, so if you love the series Monsters, you should totally get a kick out of this episode. As always, leave me your thoughts down in the comments, as I love hearing from you. And if you have any episode recommendations, I'd love to hear about them. Drop them down below. And if you'd like an even more impactful way to help the channel, please consider throwing a few dollars a month to this Broke Ghoul Fund over at my Patreon, or with the YouTube membership even. I love making these videos more than anything, and every dollar helps me continue to do what I friggin' love. I appreciate all of those who contribute, as it means the world to me. And that's all that I have for you tonight, ghouls. I appreciate you so much for sticking around until the end. Until next time, be well and stay spooky.